Valentine's Day and the candy industry go hand in hand, but it's also a great time to give handmade gifts, and that's what we're going to look at today. Hi, I'm Linda Bartolucci, and I'm a math-minded card maker. That means that I'm real good at the measuring, and I'm great at copying and putting my own twist on it. Today, we're going to make 3 different gifts. 2 of them do involve candy, but one of them absolutely doesn't. And that particular gift you can give to a neighbor, a girlfriend, or even send to school with your kids if they have any candy restrictions on gift giving. So let's get started. This is the first project we're going to make. We're going to do 3 today. The first 2 are going to be candy kind of holders, and then the last one will be something non-candy that you can give to neighbors or still take for children for classrooms and you just don't want to have the candy factor there. The first project we're going to work on is going to use the cracker and treat die along with one of the label dies from that die set. We're going to use the Sweet Sorbet baker's twine. I've already cut the treat box from the Country Gingham Designer Series paper. And then we have the Country Bouquet stamp set. And we're going to use the For You stamp. You can see you could put the I love you or the with love if this is somebody that you're even closer to. I'm going to assume a less familiar person, and we're just going to go with the For You. And actually, that's where we're going to start. So I am going to take my For You stamp, and I'm going to grab my stamping mat and one of these guys because I want to be able to stamp For You here and then leave an extra one to put whoever it's going to will put their name on it. So I'm going to ink up the stamp, and it just fits. So we kind of got to aim a little bit low. It cut off a tiny bit, but I'm going to let it slide because this just fits. And all the other tags in this die set are about the same width. So this is as good as it's going to get, and I'm fine with that. So I've already started working on this. You want to fold all the score lines. I got these ones started off camera, so I only have to do these ones here. Even started with putting some tear and tape on, getting ready. You'll notice I'm not bringing in my bone folder, and that's because I don't want the paper to crack or tear. So since I'm trying to avoid that, I'm going to use my paper snips to pull up the release paper. I don't want it to crack or tear, and that's why I'm not using my bone folder. Generally speaking, when a die will do the scoring lines for you, if you're using cardstock, you definitely want to use a bone folder, but I just find it works better when you're using paper that you don't do that. All right, we're going to set these aside. I have already, in my lifetime, had a accident with those, and we don't want to repeat that. So I'm going to fold this one under. It's going to go on here. It's a little interesting because unlike some dies, because there's an even number of panels, it doesn't just like fold right on it. So you have to kind of line up. I'm going to go this way. You have to kind of line up the edges, and you don't want it to stick together before the edges are lined up. But you don't get to put it completely flat when you're doing that. Like a square box, you get to put nice and flat because this panel is generally the 5th panel, an odd number. I'm going to leave these 2 open and just let the shape of the treat box keep them together. If you want, you could put a glue dot in here and here to keep it more securely closed. I am going to close this ink pad though because I really don't want to get any ink on me. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take off a fair amount of twine and just snip that. And this is how the treat box goes together. Now, wherever the knot goes, that you want on the other end when you do the knot, you want it to match. So I'm trying to see, I don't want to pull it tight. My seam is over here, so that's fine. I'm going to lay that down, and that way I know it's on the opposite side of where I'm tying the knot, and I like that. That's just personal preference. You can do whatever you want. The other thing you could do if you want a little more fluff from your twine is to double or triple up the twine so it's a little fluffier on the ends. That's totally up to you. You can also just do what I'm doing and just kind of unwind it a little bit. I'm going to unwind both sides. And then I'm going to take my scissors and just kind of feed through the twine and just break them up a little bit more. There we go. Just to make it a little more of a, I don't know, fluffy sounds silly, but that's kind of what it's doing. So it just kind of takes up a little more real estate and looks a little more rustic. All right, now we need to put the treat in, which in this case is going to be some kisses in Valentine colors. And it seemed that 6 fit in just fine. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I have my knot here. So I want to put a matching knot there. And I haven't forgotten about my labels. I promise. I'm going to show you how you do this. And I like putting this together in this manner because it makes it so that you can assemble the whole treat box. And if you're not ready to do labels yet, they're not going to fall apart. They're done. And you can come back the next day or a few hours later and get your labels done. So we have that. We're going to tuck it around. All right, both of these are on the same side. I'm going to trim this a little bit more. It's the strings on this are going to be a little bit long. The other thing that's good here is that I have my knot kind of in the slot there because I'm going to need to hook something underneath there. You'll see in just a second, because that's how my label is going to attach. So I'm going to untwine these again, get my little kind of rustic ends going, just to get the fibers of the string. This one I just kind of needed to untwine. I don't even need my scissors. I'm going to use my scissors on this one and just pull them through. I was having flashbacks when I was designing the projects for this video because I used to be a room mom for my kids' rooms, and I would come in at Valentine's time, you know, in early February, and we would make Valentines for them to take home to their parents, and we would make a treat box, and it was just lots of good memories flowing while I was doing all these projects, getting ready to make this video for you. All right, so where'd my seam go? There it is. Okay, so my seam's there. My 2 knots are there. I have my treats inside. So now I'm going to get my tags together. Now, if I was doing this to give out in a classroom or to a bunch of people that I already knew, I probably would go ahead and just write the names right now. It'll just be easier later. But I'm going to show you how it goes together, and then you can do that. When you're doing this, you can do that when you want to. So I'm going to take a hole punch. You could use an easy single punch with a thin hole. I'm going to use a crocodile, and I'm just using the smaller hole. So there we go. I'm keeping them together, and I'm going to take my baker's twine, and I'm going to put it right through here and hold on to that end. And then this end, I'm going to feed under here, and I'm going to grab it on the other side. And of course, this completely worked when I was doing this all by myself. You might have to grab some tweezers. You might want to have some tweezers on hand. Yeah, I'm going to grab some tweezers. Okay, I just want to keep these. I'm going to keep a thumb on this. Then I'm just going to go inside here. I don't want to grab the wrong string. So I'm going to start again. Let's grab this, put it in here. Right. We're going to pull it up just enough for me to grab, but I want it to come back here because I just want it to go around the original twine knot. There we go. Okay. Got it. Like I said, if you're going to make these for yourselves, you might want to do the tag part separately because you're going to feel quite accomplished when you get the treat boxes all done. And potentially all thumbs like I do right now, getting the tags done. All right, I'm just going to tie a quick knot, and then I'll do the same thing with these that I did with the other ones. Just going to unwind them and have all that fun fringe. Okay, so there is project number 1. That's our little cracker and treat container. I just wanted to ask you real quick if you wouldn't mind giving this video a like, and if you aren't subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe and click that notification bell. Liking and subscribing help a small channel like me get found more on YouTube. Let's get back to the projects. And now we're going to move on to something that a lot of people like to give at Valentine's time because it is the season of chocolate. I found some mini M&Ms in a cute little container, and you could do this not only for the cute M&Ms, you could do this with a candy bar of any size, even if it was the little treat candy bars. All you're going to want to do is measure the width that you need, which I've already done here. This is some of the Country Bouquet Designer Series paper. And then I'm just going to use my paper snips to make a little cut right here. I'll bring in my trimmer. Now, if I was making lots and lots of these, I would measure this so I know how much I need and then just cut all the papers. But for today's purposes, we're only making one. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this through. Now, if you want to duplicate this exactly, I can give you the dimensions of this. So it ended up being exactly 4 wide. So the wraparound part is 4 inches and it's 3.5. So 4 long, 3.5 wide. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my tear and tape again and just put a swatch on, which is why I wrapped it around a little farther than I needed to. And this is just such a quick and easy way to just make some candy look a little more fun and festive. And again, you could use the tags that I showed you. And in fact, you could even just use a scrap of paper as a tag, which is what I'm going to show you on this one. So we're going to wrap this around, and you're just going to make sure that the ends are lined up. Your tear and tape went right on the end. Oh, it actually matched. Did not know that it would do that. But anyway, that was just luck. Now what we want to do is add a little tag to this, and so that's what I'm going to do here. So I have a 3¼ by 5 piece of basic white cardstock, and I'm going to bring my sweet sorbet in again and my stamp mat, and we're just going to create a little tag for this. I'm going to use Happy Valentine's Day this time. So let me grab my stamp mat, and I have my tag. And I know Happy Valentine's fits on here because I've done it a few times. 2.5 is the minimum that you need. And I'm going to show you how you can make this look a little bit cooler with absolutely no effort. So here we go. Happy Valentine's Day. And then I'm going to pick it up and shift it just a little bit to the right and stamp it down one more time. And you just get a little bit of a shadow. I'm going to bring this up so you can see. You get a little bit of a shadow behind, and it just looks really cool. Or I think it does. All right, and while it's laying there, I'm going to let the ink dry, but I'm going to go ahead and add my trusty tear and tape. You could use foam dots, dimensionals. You could use glue dots. I'm just sticking with my tear and tape because it's working and it's right here. If you use a liquid glue, it's just going to have to set up, and this is not a flat surface for you to attach it to. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend using any liquid adhesives. I think your solid adhesives go better. So this time I'm just going to go this way. It's going to open like that. You can just put whatever name this is coming from or going to. You can even put the to over here and then the from, but you have this cute little tag ready to go on your candy. So that is project number 2. And then let me show you a couple of more things that you could consider. A stationery item is always a great thing to give to somebody as a cute little gift, but there's no sweets involved, no worry of allergies or candies or anything like that. So I just wanted to show you, I got these cute little notebooks right on Amazon. I will link my Amazon shop below in the description. And I decorated them a little bit differently using the new alphabet set from the mini catalog. I will link that below as well. In fact, all the supplies that I'm using that are Stampin' Up! Related are linked below. And I just want to show you the three different designs and how I did this. So this is my first one, very basic. You could even give this to a guy. Brown and blue is a great color combo for a guy, but women tend to like it as well. So this is just straight on putting the letters on here. I just die cut the letters with an adhesive sheet on the back so that all the adhesive is already on there. Peel off the release paper, stick these down, and I'm done. The second one I did, very similar, but I added a piece of granite gray cardstock behind it just to give it a little bit of a layer and a little bit of a pop. So adding just something like this makes life really easy. Again, you could definitely give these to guys if you wanted to, or anybody else. Change the colors, do whatever you want to do. I couldn't resist doing a more feminine one with the flowers. I have a scrap of cardstock behind, but this time I just banner cut the end. And then I also gave this a little bit more dimension. I wanted the white letters to pop, but I used colored cardstock and white cardstock and stacked 4 of these together to really give it some lift and shadow. So those are a few options as well. The last thing you could consider doing, especially if you're going to give something to somebody well ahead of Valentine's Day, is giving them a little package of gift cards is always a fun thing to do. And these were created with the Country Bouquet Builder Punch along with the Country Bouquet stamp set. So these are just little 3x3 gift tags, and people can use them to put on their Valentine's Day gifts to others, and I just thought I'd show you that as well. And there you have all the projects for today. I hope you enjoyed the projects from today's video and they inspired you to give a handmade gift to someone that you care about. Thanks so much for making it this far in the video. If you wouldn't mind giving this video a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please click that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you know when I post my next video. Have a great day.